Almost ran out of air there. What's up, Facebook? How? My question is, how are you feeling? I hope you're feeling good because you know what I say. You know what I say. My mentor said, I hope you feel good because when you feel good, you flat out do good. That's what I'm talking about. What's up, Driven Network? How's everybody doing tonight? What up, Brad's on? Ryan, what's up? Brandon, thank you so much for coming on. Feeling good, Brad. I know it, man. I appreciate the words you sent me today. It really makes me feel good seeing stuff like that. So if you get some value from this, man, shoot me a message. I'd love to see. I'd love to learn how it's impacted you or what your thoughts are on the positive mindset and on going after it. Boom. Fired up for tonight. We got a great show coming on. We reached into the Sled Network. Bring somebody that's not real familiar with the industry in, but he is familiar with a positive mindset. He is familiar with accountability. He is what I call driven because he goes after what he wants. And I want to bring him to the network, and I want to bring him to you guys because I know he can add some value to y'all's life because he's doing it to mine. I had 2 conversations with the guy, and he completely blew my mind. So what are you going to get out of this episode? It's episode 12 with David Nemiroff. Number 1, you're going to get practical advice for the right mindset, whether you're in like a startup operation or in the corporate industry, or you can apply it to sledding, or you can apply it to your sponsorship program, or you can apply it to your relationship. You're going to get practical advice on the right mindset for that. Number 2, you're going to get some benefits from serving others first. What is this? What's up, Clinton, man? Thank you for coming on. EJ, my man. What is this principle behind serving each other first? We're going to cover that. Number 3, how to boost your accountability across the board, whatever it is you're doing, your gym, your work, your wife, your life, your riding, your sled maintenance, whatever. Accountability is key. Accountability is the key. My name is Scott, if you know me. Thank you for coming back. If this is your first time watching the show, I do appreciate it. I hope you get some value from this. I'm a dad, I'm a sledder, and I got my vision set on exactly what means the most to me, and that is crushing my goals right now. That is writing goals down and going after them relentlessly. That is what my vision is set on. Driven's a show that was created for people that are crushing it, that want to crush it, and if you're like me, you didn't even know what this whole crushing it thing was about. You didn't know about this online stuff. I saw it, I reached for it, I started doing it, and like I say, I just pressed play, and I'm growing through this process, and I thank you guys all. I thank everybody for tuning in on this and joining on this with me and shooting me messages and liking my posts and sharing my stuff because I couldn't do it without you. I'd be talking to myself, and that's no fun. So, what is Driven? It's a show I created to boost your mindset, to build your network, and to learn how to be accountable and go after the things you want to go after. I wrote, about a year ago, I wrote some things down, and I looked at it, and I'm like, what I am doing today going to get me to where I want to go tomorrow and be able to do the things I wanted to do? And I had to answer that, and it hurt, and I'm like, no, it's not. I'm not doing the things that I need to do. I'm not taking the action that I need to take, and I'm not setting myself up to be where I want to be 1 month, 90 days, 1 year down the road. So, what'd I do, man? I went to work, I opened a book, I reached out to some people that were doing the types of things that I wanted to do, and I was like, what are you doing? What is your secret? What do you got going on? I started watching, I started reading, I started learning, and so much of it came back, and I'm talking about some badass people that are doing some great things with their life and build amazing companies, or just have an amazing family or have an amazing job, and you can tell their mindset's right, you can tell they're driven, you can tell they're doing what they want to do, and they're living passionate. And hands down, the one thing that came back every single time was, number 1 was personal development, number 2 was the right mindset. So boom, I doubled down on that, I went to work on it, and this is my journey through that. This is me sharing it. I'm not at the end, I'm just at the beginning. But I'll tell you what, taking the step and making the decision to start thinking in a positive mindset, to start working on some stuff that I know had been pulling me back. What's up? Jason's on, JJ's on. Thank you guys for coming in. Making that decision just to start reading in it, just to start learning about it, helped me turn the ship, if you will. It turned my ship, and now I can see that if I implement these things in my life every day, in every aspect, what's up, Kelly? Thank you. Every aspect along the way, you know, how can you not win when you got the right attitude? I mean, things, you can quickly adjust from things happening to you to happening for you. Like, you know, so many times in my life, I'm like, man, why is this happening to me again? Man, why is this happening to me again? Man, why is this happening to me again? And because I was looking at it wrong, I didn't have the right, I wasn't looking at it with the right mindset, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, this is happening for me. You know, I'm 19 years old, I'm on the rodeo road, and I'm broke as shit, and why is this happening to me? Why did I get bucked off last night? Why is that happening to me? No, it's happening for me because I needed to dig down deeper inside myself, pull something out to get me to where I wanted to go. I had to start thinking about, this is happening for me, and what can I learn from it? What can I grow from it? And that's mindset. That's the switch. That's what this show's about. And if I can reach out to one person tonight and he's like, man, I've been looking at this situation the wrong way, I need to be looking at it like, this is happening for me. And as I grow through this, I bring all these different people on here, man, I'm learning just as much as everybody else. That's what pumps me up. So I hope you're fired up. We got a cool show tonight. We reached out into the Sled Network through a recommendation from an alumni of the Driven Network. He's like, man, I got a guy that you have got to meet. His story's awesome, and I think he can add tons of value to your network. And I'm like, let's put him on the phone. Let me learn from him. Let me talk to him. And yes, he's absolutely right. If you're a member of the Driven Network group, drop a 1 in the comments. If you are not in the Driven Network yet and you want to level up, you want to meet some great people doing some great things, drop an ad in the comments. Just write ADD, ad. That's what I'm talking about. And I'll come back and I'll make sure to get you put into that group. But the requirement is you got to have the right mindset. You got to be driven, and you got to want to be better. And if you're not getting better, it means you're going backwards. So the purpose of this show tonight, again, it comes from a highly recommended former guest, Mr. John Ferriann himself from the Pacific Northwest, NWAC, man. It just shows about bringing people on that execute in all aspects of their life. And whether it be, you know, like last week when we had a dude just absolutely executing it on the sledding and generosity and building a business, that's why he was on here. Tonight, we're bringing David on because he's executing at several different aspects. International startup, corporate world, he's doing it. Family life, he's doing it. Friendship life, he's doing it. Mentorship to his peers, to people above him, to people below him. He's absolutely doing all that, and that's why he's coming on tonight. Whew. I'm fired up. How about you guys? Can I get some of these in the comments? Drop me some rock out. I'm fired up. So I'm gonna pumped up. Let me go through a little quick story with this. Part of this show is born out of my need to learn new skills. I needed to increase, number one, my networking abilities. I've never reached out to people with hey, here's me, here's Scott. So I need to learn A, how to network. B, I need to learn a little bit about business and in the different fundamental workings of it. And it all kind of came back to a lot of things. I need to learn a little bit about sales, because what I'm doing is selling this show. I'm selling my journey. And if I don't know how to sell my journey, then how am I going to give some value to you guys? So I got to ask people, hey man, what are some things you do? Number one, I forgot to turn my messenger off. I hope it doesn't interrupt the show too much. So my need to reach out and to learn some things made this show happen. It made me start this show because I was having some amazing conversations, and I'm like, I can't hop on and pretend like I know this stuff. I can't hop on and be like, do this, this, and this, because I haven't done it yet. Best thing I can do is bring somebody up right about here. That's what I'm talking about, JJ. Thank you, Amanda. Boom and Wine knows it. I can put people right here in this seat that know what they're talking about, and I can learn from them from right here, and you guys get to learn from home too. So that's the story behind this. I know I'll grow through the process. Question is, will you grow through the process? Because you got to have an open mind to be able to hear new things. Number one, I didn't for a long time. I'm like, I'm built, I'm good. God made me this way, and yeah, I'm gonna do it with the tools that are equipped with me. Little did I know I could open up a book and learn a whole bunch of new stuff. Plus, I could reach out to people and be like, "Hey, speed up my process a little bit. What'd you do? Tell me how you messed up. I'd love to do that." All right, so I'm gonna bring them on in just about a second. One thing I want to ask you to do is share this out. If you're getting some value from either me or some of my guests that I have on, please share this out. You guys have been absolutely amazing. Last week, what did we have, like 45 or 50 shares? Thank you guys so much. Like, whoo! I know John brought the thunder. I just bring the platform, man. I'm the messenger. I don't. It's not my message. It's my platform. I just want to bring it to you guys the best way I can. Accountability is bringing the snorkel is deep in the Pacific Northwest. So I'm going to break right now. I'm going to stop talking because every time I do add somebody, it cuts out for a second. So, boop, I'm going to bring David up. How about that? Everybody drop right now. Drop where you're from. I want to see some states flying. Drop the state you're in watching this. Not where you're from, the state you're in while you're watching this. And we'll bring David on.
So sit back then.
Oh, sit back.
There we go.
Hey, it worked.
What's up, David?
Hey.
How you doing?
You got me fired up. That intro, I was like, this is amazing. I can't wait to hear this guy.
Yeah. I went completely off script with that one. I was just going with the flow, so I'm glad it came across good.
Yeah, I'm psyched. Who's this guy again? Who you bringing on? Just kidding.
Who is this guy? Well, that's this guy right here, David Nemiroff.
Who is this guy?
Who is this guy? What are we talking to this guy for? What can this guy that basically nobody knows who you are, what can you bring to this table? That's what I want to share with them is I know you got value. Let's bring it tonight.
Awesome. Well, thanks. It's a pleasure to be on again. It's great to see you again. Great to talk to you. And I'm excited. And yeah, we'll see where the conversation goes. Thanks for having me on the Sled Network. You know, John Ferriann is teaching me how to actually, drive the sled. Taught me how to go straight, how to run into trees.
I turned this way and it ain't going. I'm turning.
Why am I falling the other way? That's all I've learned so far. But it's fun.
Heck yeah, pushing boundaries. That's what it's about. And there's he's fired up as can be right now with all the new colors coming out. I bet he's got one on the back of his truck that would look good in your garage right now.
He's already tried to fit it in the garage, and it almost fit. Almost.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, it's snowing outside too, so who knows.
Oh, it's fresh everywhere. I love it. We actually got some down here too, so that pumps me up as well.
Nice. Yeah.
All right, guys, if you're just popping on, let me just quick do this. This is David Nemiroff. Dude, I know you can get some value from this. He's ventured into the startup world in a few different industries. He's proven himself in the corporate industry, and he's proven himself that accountability is the base. It's the fundamentals of a lot of what he's done and a lot of the decisions he's made on his journey. So there's a little wrap. I don't want to tell your story, brother. Let's share a little. You tell your story. You got it down better than I do.
Well, listen, I'm here for you, and I would love to share out what makes sense, what topics are important to you. Accountability is a really important topic for me, and I think lately it's become more and more important to me as I hear and see people who are looking externally for reasons why they're having a hard time finding success, whether it's in their personal life or at work or with friends. Or something they're trying to accomplish in their life. There's always some reason, some other external factor that they're having a hard time finding success. And it will be great if you stop for a minute and just think, what is it that I can do differently that will enable me to get on the right path to success, to achieve some of the goals? And they don't have to be big goals. They can be smaller goals. But I think about kids in school, and I remember I was the same way at the time, right? I have to go to school today, right? Or you hear some people, I have to go to work today. No, you don't have to. You may, but you get to, right? You have the honor, the privilege to get to go get an education or get to go and do something for somebody else. And it's not always going to be easy. There'll be times when things are difficult. You don't always get things the way you want them, and there's challenges, and you know what? Those challenges, they're good. They're in your path. They're in your life for a reason, to help you learn and help you get stronger and smarter. And then ultimately, it's your responsibility to pass that on and help somebody else. So yeah, accountability is kind of a big deal for me right now.
I love it. I love it. And it's true how it feeds into so many parts of your life. I mean, if you're not accountable in the gym, you're not going to have the results. If you're not accountable at the grocery store, you're not going to have stuff to eat. You're like, oh man, I didn't even make a list. Like, why have we got no food? Well, I went to the grocery store. I don't even have a list. Anyway, so yeah, and it's funny how it plays so much into all aspects, and unless you account for accountability, guess what? Goes right by.
Yeah, it's so easy to look, it's somebody else's fault. It's kind of like, if you've ever been in a car accident, right? Immediately it's somebody else's fault. Their light was red, or they cut me off, or they were driving a Prius. We all know the Prius drivers are, right? There's some reason, but it's never, maybe I was going too fast, or I wasn't paying attention, or whatever. I was driving too close to the car in front of me, because I'm a good driver. It's not my fault, right? But if you think about it, yeah, right. How do you avoid those things? Well, maybe because you could pay attention. Maybe you want to give a couple extra inches between you and the car in front of you, whatever it is, right? Maybe in relationships, you want to give an extra minute or two to build a relationship first with somebody before you start to, tell them what to do, or before you want to ask something from them, right? Maybe you got to build a relationship first, because people don't.
That's it.
They may not just respond to you the way that you expect, and so then what? It's their fault. They're a jerk. They might not be a jerk. They just don't know you yet. They don't know how to work with you yet.
I learned that the hard way. I kind of jumped into a sales role like a year ago with zero experience and really zero preparation. I was just like, go do this, buy this, over and over and over, and I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And so much of it, that's exactly what it was. It was like, hey, how are you doing? How are you, how are you feeling today? And build that rapport, build that relationship, show them who you are, basically, is what I learned. And then from there, go from there, wherever it might be.
Yeah. What's that saying? People don't care what you know until they know how much you care, right?
Yes.
And it seems so simple, but if people, and I'm not saying you have to be everybody's best friend, right? But if people like you and they enjoy being around you, and by the way, hopefully you like the people that you're surrounding yourself with as well, then it's just a lot easier. Conversations flow faster, they flow better. You don't take things personally when somebody objects or disagrees with you, and you can probably have a more candid, more honest conversation. And what's beautiful about that is when you have a nice, open, transparent, honest conversation with somebody, if you're trying to solve a problem, you can get there a lot faster with a lot more collaboration, with a lot less resistance. And if the other person you're speaking with, they're part of the problem, if you have a good relationship and it's open and there's trust, chances are likely they'll recognize it, they're going to own it, and they'll help break down those walls for you. But if you decide, I'm going to go straight at this, I'm just going to be direct because I'm a direct person, right? And I'm proud of that. And then why is it that everyone always pushes back on me? Those people, right? So maybe just take a quick minute and realize that everyone's a human. Everyone deserves to be treated as an individual, and they want to be appreciated as, and dignified and respected, just like you do. And you take that extra minute, it's magical, right?
It's kind of like you pass the authority away from you almost, and in return, without even meaning it, it comes right back to you. That boom, dropping fire on that. Give your authority away, and more comes back to you. That's kind of what I'm seeing there. I love that.
You know what? It's the difference between people that think about managers and leaders, right? So managers feel like they have to do everything, they have to own everything, they have to tell people what to do, and then you have other people who say, you know what, my job is to influence other people to be the best versions of themselves. And so I will influence them through our relationship, through helping to be a coach and a mentor, but also by being a learner. And along the way, guess what? Now I have influence. So when I need somebody or a team or a whole group of people to go and do something, they want to. I have a lot of influence, and I have leadership without having to have a special title, without having to have any designations. And I don't need authority, which is the most beautiful thing, right? I just need some influence. And that starts at the very base of, do I have the right relationship?
That's it. And you can build it with belief. I believe in this relationship. I can help you get where you want to go. I believe, my name is Scott, and I believe by bringing David Nemiroff on this show, so people are going to get some benefit from it. The belief. I dove into this last night through a recommendation from somebody else was the I believe statements especially when you're trying to talk about yourself. It's not telling them what you believe. You're not trying to put your opinions onto somebody. You're not trying to put your feelings into somebody. I believe that no matter where I am in my life, I can learn my way up. And that's my new go-to right now.
Yeah, I love, well, you said a couple things. One is there's got to be belief, right? Without belief, there's no, you're not emotionally engaged. If you're not emotionally engaged, you truly won't be physically engaged, and you probably will never achieve that wish, that goal that people say is a goal. I plan to do this thing. It's really more of a wish at that point if you don't believe in it. You have to believe in yourself first, right? So that to me, I think, is a fundamental starting point. And also, believing in the positive intentions of others along the same way, right? I believe I can achieve this, and I believe the people around me have positive intentions to help me achieve my goal. I just think those are baselines. You said something else, but I forgot what it was. I'm hoping you say it again.
Me too. I get off on rants, and I'm like, I don't know. I just blacked out for a minute. I was just going off instinct. That's what I do.
That's awesome.
All right. So before we get too far wandered off a down line, I want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. Please share this out if you get some value from it. I see Matt's on, Devin's on. If you guys got some questions at the end, we'll try to circle back up around. So just drop any questions you might have in the comments, and I appreciate you all. Travis says, it all starts with belief. Then we have to have faith and keep on keeping on. Yes, sir. Way to go,
Amen.
Travis, dropping some value right there. I like that. Yeah. Thank you for that. All right, so we're going to make a little transition now. I know your backstory. I know kind of where you came from and what you did. I want to fast forward a little bit. You were speaking of, you were in a comfortable position with a company where you liked where you were, but you kind of felt like you were, living to work, not working to live type of thing. And you had to make a hard choice on that. And you went to something that was probably
way different.
Let's go into that. And I want to be on the mindset of, what does it take to be like, this ain't right, man. I got to bail. I got to go do something that's right here.
Yeah. Well, it's tough at times. You have to be willing to do a little self-evaluation. You have to be able to reflect inwardly and ask yourself some really tough questions. And when you do, sometimes you may not like the answers, but what do they say? The truth sets you free, right? And I was working for a company, national brand. Honestly, I love the company even to this day. I love the people. I love the company, their mission, everything about it. But the job itself was, after a while, and I don't mean after a long while, after a short while, it wasn't inspiring for me personally. Mm-hmm. I didn't get excited about it. I didn't wake up, fired up, ready to go, fire in my belly, ready to go, tackle everything, and, just doing this amazing job. I was not excited about the work itself. And it had nothing to do with the company or the people or, policies or anything like that. They paid me well. But the fact is that I found myself in a short while literally living to work, right? That was it. I didn't have time for myself. I didn't have time for family. I certainly didn't have any time for friends. I can't tell you how many times and people stopped asking, right? Like, hey, do you want to go?
Yeah.
hey, do you want to go do something fun? And no, I'm tired or I'm going to work, right? Those were my two answers. And so after that, you know, and look, I was committed to it because I had left my previous role, which it was a really good job also, to come do this because I thought this was going to be the next 10-year piece of my life. And now I made this commitment. I got to stick through it, right? So I stuck through it for just over 2 years. And I finally realized, okay, it's time. Like, I'm not, who am I kidding, right? If I'm not inspired and fired up, I'm probably not inspiring others. I'm probably not helping the team that I'm responsible for. So am I the right person for this role anymore? And I have to tell you, that's really tough when you start thinking about it from that perspective, because as much as I wasn't enjoying the role itself, there are probably 100 people who would absolutely love to be in this role and who would wake up every day fired up, ready to come to work to inspire the team to do the stuff that I had enough. And I'll tell you what the impetus was. So this is where my mind was. And then a former mentor of mine, I only say former because I had lost touch with him for about a year or so. He died. I mean, he was 53 years old, and he was diagnosed with cancer, and a month later he died. And I would tell you, the guy, I mean, heart of gold, right? Everyone who knew him absolutely loved him and cherished him, and he's just a great human being, amazing leader. Worked all the way up to the last day before he died, the last day. And so you might think, is he crazy? But, you know, I have to tell you, he got so much fulfillment out of his job because it wasn't a job for him. He loved it, but still, it's over. He died. So I looked at it and said, there's no way, first off, if I died tomorrow, would I be satisfied thinking the last 30 days that I was doing this? And so I'm not being fair to myself, my family. Certainly I've alienated some of my friends just because I haven't been able to connect with them. And most importantly, I shouldn't say most importantly, but equally as important, I was absolutely not serving the team that I was responsible for. And so, so after this gentleman passed away, I made a decision to resign my position, which I have to tell you was really tough. And I didn't talk to my wife first, so that was also tough.
That's the part I wanted to. That's the part I wanted you to bring up. Like,
honey, guess what I did today?
What we're gonna do, babe?
Yeah, but don't worry, it's gonna be okay. Because look, you got to have some faith too, right? You have to have belief and faith in yourself. You have skills, right? And I know I have skills, and it wasn't my skills weren't limiting me in this position. It was, my heart wasn't in it, right? So that was a limiting factor. I'm emotionally engaged, not anymore, right? So that's a limiting factor. So it's not my skills didn't go away. So, but I would tell you, like, no sooner did I make that decision than I had a group of friends who reached out to me who had gotten involved with a tech startup and said, hey, you might be interested in this. Why don't you come check it out? And one of the guys that's involved in that, John Rudo, he'll probably watch this video later, is a really good friend of mine, also a mentor for me. And at times, I think I get to add a little mentorship for him too, so we kind of help each other out. But he's been a really great friend for me over the years, and he invited me to come be part of this company, this tech startup, which is really exciting, very scary. And I'll tell you something, the word startup does not also equate to,
idea.
Lots of money. Like those two things are not, they're mutually exclusive. What's the word for it? Yeah. They don't go hand in hand, right? Yeah. But I looked at it and I said two things. One, I love these guys. So I could go to work every day and really enjoy the people I get to work with. Hey, like that's a great step in the right direction. Two, this is a real challenge. It's not a simple problem. It's a tough problem. And I love, I like the messy, hard, complicated, messy problems. Three, I get to help kind of create the path. Like, well, how are we going to take the next step? What is the right, what should the process look like? And
what is the next step? That's, I get hung up on that a lot. I'm like, okay, I got that, but what is, like, that's.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, in the previous couple of, it is at times, right? Especially if it's, but for the previous couple of years, the company I worked for it's not because they personally didn't value my ability to think, through and strategize. And it's not that they didn't value that. It's just that the job itself didn't require that kind of thinking. It required a different kind of thinking. This this cool gig required me to think strategically in a whole different way, and to really think about possibilities and map it out. And it was a blast. It didn't hurt that we had happy hour in the office about 5 o'clock most days of the week. So that was a little peak. Startup life, right? Yep. So, anyways, but that was great. I love it. These guys are awesome, and we helped to grow. The business, and we were having, a moderate amount of success. I wouldn't say a wild amount of success. And after a while, it got to a point where I really did need to find a way to financially take care of my family, and it is what it is. So I went to look for what's the right position for me where I could earn a good living and also continue to do good work with other people. But in the meantime, these are still my friends. I still connect with them. I am the loudest cheerleader. I will do everything I can to help connect people with the right, resources, so that if there's an opportunity and it comes together and they strike gold and become Facebook rich, great. Hopefully they remember me. And if not, hopefully they invite me to their parties.
Yes, sir. So, there's three things I want to revisit there, and that accounted for a lot of that. Number one was that fulfillment factor to help you decide to go one way or the other. That personal fulfillment has so much to do with a lot of stuff that I've realized. The other one was the mentorship. Like, every step of the process along the way, like the person you're learning from might not be there at the time, but so many people, when they talk about big steps they've made or things that they've overcome, they attribute a lot of that to a mentor or a coach. And for the longest time, brother, I just was like, man, I got this. And I never really heard the word mentor in the term of like, it's like I use it now. I'm like, man, what was I thinking? So the fulfillment, mentorship, and then that networking, that ability to build those relationships that can serve you then, and maybe you can serve them down the road in any sort of way. So 3 big hits there. Boom.
Yeah, critical. On the mentorship piece, it's such an important thing in life. And your mentor doesn't have to be, a leader in the company.
It could be anybody.
It could be anybody. And in my opinion, it's got to be somebody in your life who's willing to be, constructive, but critically honest with you, right? And ask you the really tough questions, the ones you really don't want to hear out loud.
The ones that you're lying to yourself about. That's what I've experienced is the ones that you tell yourself, I'm doing good. It's the guy that's going to be like, about that.
Yeah, the emperor has no clothes.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. And if you've ever been around people, there's a fellow that I associate with. I'm trying to think of the right way to say this, but he's the smartest guy in the room, and he'll tell you as much. He's the smartest person he knows. He's so smart, in fact, he'll tell you, and then he'll tell you over and over again. He gets snarky about it. Sorry, my phone is doing all kinds of things. So, I think at first it used to bother me. It used to upset me a little bit, actually. And then after a while, I started to feel kind of sad for this particular person, because you're going your whole life, you're closed off to learning from other people. You're closed off from being able to hear the truth and have some honesty in your life. And by the way, if you're closed off to all of us, it's probably true from your wife and your 2 daughters. You're probably closed off to them too, because you're always telling people how to think and what to do, and you're never opening your mind to listen to other people. And I have to tell you, like I'm the first one to admit I don't have all the answers. I may not have any of the answers, but I do try to surround myself with really smart people who, when I hear the right answer, then I know it. And so when you go to a mentor and you say like, hey, can you help me talk through this situation? I mentioned John Rudo a few minutes ago, a really good friend of mine, and honestly, he's been a mentor for me for many, many, many years. And I love it because he'll never let me off the hook. I need that, and by the way, the opposite's also true. If I'm on the right path, he's reassuring in a way that is not gushing, not like you're a champ, but hey, it sounds like you've made the right choice. Here's what I heard you say. And that really reaffirms for me. And I know he's being honest, because he'd tell me if I wasn't, right?
Yeah.
You need people like that in your life.
Love it. Love it. Jake Coleman, little shout out to the Dirty Dooner himself. If you haven't checked out his show, he's got a pretty good thing going for himself. He
Nice.
says he struggles with mentorship because he wants to take bits and pieces from everybody. And me
Yeah.
personally, I mean, I support that. There's a ton of inspiration, a ton of mentorship available for people, but as long as your message, I feel like, as long as your message to yourself is consistent, you can pull from as many places as you want, but
Sure.
be accountable and be consistent with it, I think. So good question, or
Yeah.
good statement there, Jake.
Yeah, I think you can literally, if you open your mind, you can literally learn from every interaction, every person you interact with, right? And so it depends on your approach, right? Is my approach, who do I get to learn from today? You know, I have meetings with people all the time, and I can't say I won't say that I'm consistently 100% every single meeting. But today specifically, there was a couple of them I knew that I was going to go into with a couple of people that they're a little bit, sometimes they can get a little negative, and I don't have room in my life for negativity. Most people don't. And I was deliberate, like I'm going to go in and I'm going to make this fun, and I'm going to put this person in a position where they could teach me something new. And then I'm going to try to think of what can I bring them to help them, you know, get some joy out of the day. And I'll tell you, mission accomplished. So it made me feel good because left the meeting, everyone's laughing and smiling, having a good time. And actually we got some good work done at the same time. But that mindset of I'm going to learn something new from this person, every interaction, it makes every interaction more meaningful, I believe.
Yep. What can I learn? What can I teach? And how can I grow from it? Like,
How can
take that into a conversation with you. I think that's pretty good setup. If you're looking, if I walk into a room and everybody be like owning their own businesses and doing their own thing, I'd be like, I ain't teaching. You know, what can I learn? Like,
what can I learn?
Here we go.
Well,
I got my pen. I got my paper. Let me listen.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you talked about networking, right? So, I mean, think about it. People network for different reasons. People network so that I can meet somebody who can get me to the right person, the decision maker to close a sale. All right, well, if that's your purpose for networking, I mean, I'm sure if you try hard enough, at some point in time, you're going to have some success. But it's going to be harder. It's going to take you longer. And there's not going to be meaningful relationships with you. Now, flip that around for a minute. What if your point by networking is to really connect with people, to get to know them, to share with them, share what you know, but also be willing to, you know, they'll be willing to give you. You give it away free, they'll give it to you. You learn about them, about the work that they're involved in, and the people that they know. And then when the time comes, when you least expect it, when you never, it's out of the blue, the gifts come back to you.
Yes.
They just come back to you tenfold. And you never have to ask. But if you did have to ask, and there are people that do, if you go into LinkedIn ever, you see somebody saying, hey, you know, can somebody help me out? I'm looking for a job. You can see the people that have developed really positive connections, like they just get swarmed, like people put their arms around them like digitally, right? And then you read, and then like a couple months later it pops up like, thanks for all your support, I got hired by, right? Versus the other people like, hey, the universe owes me a job. Which one of you are going to hire me? Come on. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Why aren't you giving me a job, world?
Yeah, I don't understand. I met with you. I traded business cards. Come on, I connected with you on LinkedIn. You owe me. Where's my job? And I want vacation.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
networking with, and that goes right into where I wanted to hit next on the accountability mindset of servitude.
Servitude, sure.
Servitude. You know, it's not. You hear it. You know, serve people, don't sell people, basically. But
yep.
To a point, like, yes, that makes sense to me. By me saying I'm going to serve you, I don't like saying it that way, but I want to show people who I am. And that was, I mean, boom, I pressed play and I'm like, I want to show people who I am and show people how I'm growing. And maybe I can, you know, help somebody along the way. Be like, hey, you know, I look like that guy, I talk like that guy, but maybe I can do it too. So the servitude of attitude.
Yeah. You know, you've heard of servitude leadership, right? If you believe that your role is to help other people achieve, Your role is to enable the people or the teams or whomever it is to grow and prosper. Just if you know that that's your role, and you approach your job, your relationships, first off, they'll get a lot out of the relationship because they're not. I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. It's a free gift. I'm giving it to you without any expectation of anything coming back to me. If I say to you, hey, Scott, I hope you have a great day, I'm not saying that because I'm expecting you to say to me, you too, right? Like, I'm not expecting that. I'm saying it because I genuinely want you to feel, a little bit of joy, right? I really want you to have a great evening. I want you to have a safe trip, whatever you're doing, right? I genuinely mean that. And when you take that same approach, whether it's I'm going to help you with a project, right? I'm going to help you with a sales call. I'm going to help you with a meeting with somebody. I have partners that I work with in other companies, and my approach to those partners is I'm here to help your business grow. And by the way, when you're successful, it's crazy. I'll be successful too. And that's exactly what happens, right? I'm here to help you. I'm here to serve you. And in doing so, you, by the way, I don't have to say or do anything. You know it, you appreciate it, you believe it, and you give it back to me. I don't have to ask you. I don't expect it. And that's the beautiful part. I don't expect it. I don't ask for it. But you can't help yourself. You cannot help but give it back to me. And when you do, you feel so good about it, right? And so that's the beautiful thing about it is we're here to serve each other. And by the way, when we do that, we win. Everyone wins, right? And in my job today, my company's got to win, but guess what? So do my partners, and so do the customers that buy from my partners. And if the customer and my partner and my company all win, it's good for me too, by the way.
It's good for me too.
I think that's got to be your mindset. If you go to work or you go into a relationship with the mindset of what am I going to get out of this from this person, and that's your mindset, then you're always going to be a little dissatisfied. And I'm not saying you shouldn't go into a new experience saying, I'm excited to learn something new. Getting something out of this could mean I'm going to learn something new, a new experience, a new challenge, a new relationship. That's fair. But what are you bringing? What are you giving freely so that you can make it earn the right to be given something in return?
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
It does. No, it does.
I get excited about this topic, so if I ramble, you can cut me off anytime.
I love where we're going, man. Let me just give a few shout-outs. Matt's on, Ashley, Ryan, Kelly, Devin, JJ. Thank you, guys. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for coming in and sharing this out, man. If you're getting some value from this, share this out. Again, what did I say? Right. If you want to be part of this project, and I'm going to be doing some stuff behind the scenes in our private group. So if you want to be part of the Driven Network and you got the right mindset and you want to turn your ship, you want to get from A to B, you want to level up, step up, let's connect, reach out to me. I'd love to have you in the group, and I would love to learn from you and see what you can bring to the table. And then I'll bring as much thunder as I can in there as well. So Driven Network, private group, drop ad in there.
Hey, Scott, what I love about what you're doing, by the way, is it's not, you don't have to have the answers. You don't even have to know what the topic's about, right? But you have this network of people that all have rich experiences and rich lives, and between their personal life experience and their professional experience, and I guess their snowmobile experience, I don't want to leave that out. I am sure that you could bring up probably anybody on from your network and learn something new and help everyone else learn something new. I think that's pretty cool. I love what you're doing.
Cool, man. I thank you. I appreciate it. And that's it, man. I don't have to be the one with the answers at the table. Exactly. I just got to know how to bring some people to the table that have those answers. And right. Because I mean, what I'm embarking on and what I aim to accomplish and the goals that I wrote out, like, I know I don't have everything it takes to get to those goals, but I know if I talk to this guy and I keep going on the path that I'm going, and I keep, taking action on what I need to, when I learn the question that I need to ask that I don't even know I need to ask.
Right.
Man,
right.
I met David through John on episode 12, and now we're on episode 190, and I bet he might know a little bit about this. So that's it. I'm and I want to do that for other people too. Like, I mean, it ain't my group. I'm talking about, maybe you got a question when you buy John's sled from him this year, so you can start riding next year. And, and you're like, how do I start this thing? The shot button ain't working, and it's got to run for a little while, brother. But so that's what it is, man.
He gave me the one to ride that I had to pull the cord every time. So we get on, he pushes a little boom, and it's on. Yeah. I'm sitting there like trying to rip the cord, and I think I broke it actually. Oh, sorry, John.
Let me drop this on Travis. I know he's been active, and he said Napoleon Hill is one of his mentors, and again, I'm currently on that read right now. So thanks, Travis. I appreciate that.
There's a lot of really good there's a lot of good leaders, authors, right? Like Jack Welch, if you've ever read the book Winning, which is a book that I read years ago, and it honestly really inspired me in terms of my approach to my current job at the time, where I was responsible for a pretty large team. And so I had my team read the book too, because I thought, you know what, shoot, if it worked for me, it'll work for them too. And it was amazing, the transformation. But what was also amazing at the same time was this level of accountability and self-reflection at the same time, without me having to say, hey, go look yourself in the mirror. They were having it was great. And so, that's a good one. Maxwell's another one. I mean, there's a lot of really good ones. Yeah, you mentioned
they're stacking up.
Yeah, you mentioned Grant Cardone, and he's good too. I love watching his videos. I love.
He'll fire you up, man. He brings it. It's kind of cool that what he's doing, and a lot of the guys around him are doing, but the open access to them creating this whole thing is what's I think one of the coolest things is, 20 years from now, like, we're studying things about Andrew Carnegie and the moves he made, and the change in the steel industry, like these iconic names that literally changed, the way the ship was going. And because of social media now, like, we're getting to watch this stuff happen, and he might just change his little piece of the world, but who knows?
It's amazing because now, because of technology, from around the world, people can inspire action around the world, right? And the things that you do and say, or people who have, like Carnegie is a great example, right? Some of the things that he was able to accomplish around the world, people have access to it, right? And I heard a phrase from one of my coworkers recently. She said, the beautiful thing is, technology is being democratized, right? People can get access to it now more than ever before because it's more affordable, it's more readily available. The internet is ubiquitous. It's not completely ubiquitous, but around the world you can find it in more places. And so what she talks about is the fact that people can get educated and can become inspired by the actions and the knowledge of people literally around the world. That's pretty powerful. It's pretty exciting, actually. Good time to be alive, right?
Very, very and that's the thing, and it kind of takes me to my little bonus question for you, but either you embrace it and grow with it and use it positively, or you, the wrong mindset, you degrade it, you ignore it, and you focus on what's wrong with it, and
then you're miserable the whole time, and you just blame everybody else for your demise, and it's always somebody else's reason why. Yeah, exactly.
It's just a simple mindset shift, and boy, if we could get the whole world to just make a little mindset shift and be like, well, let's do this. I ain't gonna try to change the world. I'm just trying to change my future, so that help people along the way.
Exactly, one thing at a time. Okay, what's your bonus question?
That was it. It was technology driven.
Oh.
I don't know if I really ever mentioned this, but yeah, you're in a technology industry, in the technology field. What are three smart technology related career moves that you could drop advice on? Three.
Well, it depends. Yeah. So you mean like what kind of jobs, what kind of careers would I recommend?
Just career moves, like whether it be building your, digital resume, if you will, building your digital profile.
Gotcha.
You know, get good at learning Snapchat and go be a Snapchat engineer and fix their update that they did because it sucks.
I've heard that from a few people.
Yeah, I don't even know. I was just getting it figured out, and I'm like, all right, I think I got this down, and I opened it, and I'm like, I got to start over. I got no idea how to snap again.
I have to snap. What the heck is that? Hey, listen, you know, you mentioned something a minute ago that I do think is really important that a lot of young people today, you know, probably don't think about. But once you're old enough to realize that it matters, sometimes it's too late. And that is, what does your digital profile look like, right? So what does your professional resume look like online if you have a LinkedIn account? What is it if your Facebook page is public, which some people aren't, they haven't changed the security settings, right? Facebook changed it and they didn't go and adjust it. And the whole world can see you out there partying and doing crazy things. By the way, you know, employers make decisions, partners make decisions, other humans that may or may not want to be in your life make decisions based on what they find and see about you online. And so you should be thoughtful about, you know, what does your digital profile look like? I think that's a really smart thing that you said, and I would strongly encourage people to think about it because, by the way, nowadays, like everything, you know, anything you do online.
Everything's there.
Yeah, you can't hide it anymore. But, you know, and then from a career standpoint, what's interesting is, you know, the media is so rich nowadays that I think that if you're involved in the enabling of it, so do you like to code? Do you like to build? Great. Guess what? There's like an infinite number of jobs to help make all the technology work from a coding standpoint. And all these technologies are all coming together now, right? You've heard of Internet of Things?
Yep.
So everything can be accessed, you know, by the internet with the right equipment and the right code. So if
the right blockchain.
What's that? A blockchain.
And the right blockchain.
And well, that's if you want it secure. I mean, come on, let's not get silly. But everything can be connected. So if you like that, that turns you on. If you get excited about that, that is a career path that will go on forever. I would also say from a technology standpoint, we just talked about security. If you like technology, go learn how to make things secure. I ran into a guy at CES this year who works with a company that uses Qualcomm products that make it difficult. He said not possible, but I was wondering, like, is it really not possible to hack some of these self-driving cars, these autonomous vehicles? And he's like, our software powered by Qualcomm, this firmware piece makes your car won't get hacked. And I'm like, well, I mean, who would think about that? But I'm glad somebody thinks about the security for all, because I'm probably not thinking about it. Yeah. And then
I'm thinking about people jacking my car, not hacking it.
Oh, he went further. He's like, okay, I don't want to scare people, but he said, look, imagine this autonomous vehicle, somebody hacks it, they lock the doors, and they drive you to an undisclosed location. And yeah, right. So he was the horror stories. Yeah. So he was telling from my fear, and he was right. Like, I hadn't thought about that before, but forget about it. But
like, I don't have one of these cars yet, but you've hit my pain point. I want what you're selling. Ship it to me.
Exactly. I don't even care what it costs. I mean, I do, but I don't really care what it costs. Put it in my car. The last thing I would say is, like, do what you love, right? So, you know, if you love what you do outside of work, and work is a means to do all the things in the world you love, that's fine. That's great. If you're not having a really rich life outside of work might be your life. It should be rich and enjoyable. And that's okay too. I know people have different philosophies about it, but listen, you know, if I was good enough and, you know, able to go play professional baseball, that's a job. Guess what? It might be the most amazing job in the world. It's still a job. You got to wake up and work out and do all that stuff. So it's still work, but wow, I get to play baseball every single day of the week. That's awesome. Your job should do that for you. And if your job doesn't do that for you, then it should provide the means for you to get that same rich enjoyment in your personal life with all the other wonderful things you do. And that's the last thing, you know, that's my last word of wisdom.
That's it, man. Boom. Close the doors on that one. Drop the mic.
Drop the mic.
Some mic. If you guys could dig in your emojis and you got mics in there, drop some mics.
Is there
the
a
comments
mic in
if
there?
you're on there and with us.
Yeah, I gotta learn.
That's it, man. It's personal fulfillment, and I'm gonna take that one step further. I mean, really, always, forever, you've had the ability to basically create your own job, if you will. But I want to say it's even more with technology and with all the the resources that are out there. I mean, you look at 20 years ago, just to get coached by somebody that had success like you would wanted. I mean, you would get a tape cassette. Maybe you would get to see him once you'd get to see him once a year and go to their webinar, go to their seminars and learn from them. Where now these people with massive companies, maybe in the niche or the area that you're in, have these podcasts. They have Facebook Live shows. There's so much resource to all the knowledge you need, and it's literally right here on this little device. So if and that's what I did. I'm like, I'm just gonna create something. I don't really exactly know what it is or where, you know what I mean?
You don't have to know.
I don't because I'm gonna meet people along the way, and they're gonna be like, blah, this and like that, and I'm like, I'm trying this, and this is working, and I'm like, I'm just gonna create my own thing, and I may not be perfect at it yet, but I'm gonna get good at it. I'm gonna get good. I'm gonna get better.
You're only on episode 12, right? So when you're at episode, you just think about as you progress, and more and more and more, the more interviewing you do, the more people that you learn from, the more that we learn from because of your show, the more it evolves, right? And in time, it may be clearer, like, what is this thing? And that's okay that it's not completely clear today. It doesn't have to be.
Nope. Taking action, though. That's all it's about.
We've
already chewed up almost an hour, man. This is awesome conversation.
Is that right? I wasn't. My battery might be going dead soon. I have to tell you, I am on an older iPhone that does have your phone will shut off soon when the battery goes dead. So if I lose you, I apologize. But man, I love talking to you, Scott. It's a blast, and honestly, I love what you're doing.
Right on. And again, we had an earlier conversation in the Driven Network. So if you want to get access to that conversation where I actually went, I'm like, hey, man, I got a hard decision to make, and I need to make it, which actually I made it, by the way.
What'd you do? I should have asked you right away. What was your decision? What'd you decide? I'm going.
What? There's 4 people that I want to meet down there, and they all said, do it, come, be here, come shake my hand, come meet me. And I'm like, all right, that's it. So
is that right? Good.
Yeah, I'll go down. I'm gonna go down and meet the Home of the Hustle guys. If you guys have watched my stuff, I share their stuff all the time. So I'm gonna go down to Cardone's 10X and shake hands with some of the people that I've been learning from and have poured themselves into me and supported this project and supported me along the way. I just couldn't say no. So.
Well, and then that was what we talked about, right? So if you get on the phones, and if they say, yeah, come down and meet me, then you got to go. Now you have a commitment, right? They're going to meet you, and you don't know what you're going to learn from them, but whatever it is, it'll be worth it. It'll be worth your time.
Absolutely worth it. So Home of the Hustle guys, here I come.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's great. I'm glad to hear that.
Man. No, dude, I appreciate it. Yeah, and that's, like I said, that whole conversation, how he helped me work through a lot of that is in the group. And that's kind of what we're going to be doing there is, man, it's just a place like that. So drop an ad in the comments if you want to be in that group and start growing.
Amen.
All right, so freestyle now. Anybody got any questions? I didn't see of any that passed away. If you got your questions, drop them now. But I do want to hit, you're at alum, John Ferriann, alum of Driven, co-founder of the network. He's got a big event going on this weekend. Are you going to go up?
John, you want to jump on? Hang on, I'm going to trade seats with him.
Are you going to go up on the fun run, Dave?
No.
Come on in, Dave.
There's not enough sleds in the fun run.
Yep, all the Ferriann sleds are rented out for free, of course. You know, family's on. One of my boys has got an event this weekend, so he can't make it. So we're actually loaning it to another buddy's girlfriend, so she's going to come out with us. So.
Listen, I would just run it into a tree again. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, but on that top, Well, I was going to say, Scott, on that topic, I know one of your biggest fans here, Ryan Ostrom, his wife Sheila, special invite out to Sheila to come out and ride with us. So my wife will be there, the family will be there. It's a great event for any level rider, regardless of your skill set or amount of time in the saddle. And just want a special invite out to Sheila. If you can make it out, come out and hang out with us this weekend on Saturday. So
that's what I'm talking about right there. The value and just the environment that you're going to create up there on the mountain for people, like you said, anybody, any skill level. It's an open an invitation to come up and learn a little bit and have some fun and meet some new people. And that's John Ferriann. I mean, that's what I see
Scott,
from this guy. So
I can't let this episode end without just telling you, like, I'm so proud to be the friend of David Nemiroff over here. I mean, David literally is one of the key people and key reasons that I brought my family from Minnesota to Seattle. Only about a year before I made the move, I didn't even know who David Nemiroff was, and just through a partnership, a network, we've become friends. He brought me on, and kind of helped coach me to get into the role that I am here at T-Mobile at the corporate office in Seattle. And, since then, now we're lifelong buddies and a fellow mentor. And, just, why I hang around with people like this, right? It's like, you can't help when you hang around successful people, it rubs off on you.
You can't.
So,
you can't help but be successful yourself.
And Scott, I'm just going to throw down fire right here, man. It's like, I saw that in you the day that you launched one of these, these shows. I saw that in you immediately. I'm like, Scott's got something going on here I want to be part of. And the entire hour that David was over here running his show, I was sharing the stuff out of this the entire time. So,
I love that, man.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Cool. Any last words for David here? Otherwise, we can wrap it up on our end. But anything else?
Yeah, no, you guys are good, David. I want to say it was a complete honor, and thank you very much for taking some time out of your night and your week for all this call and the previous calls. If you guys want to connect with David, reach out to him, shoot him a message, ask his permission, network the right way. Don't just be like,
network the right way.
Give me a job. I don't even know where you work. We didn't talk about that on purpose, but just network the right way. Reach out to him, and again, reach out to me. I appreciate everybody.
Amen. Thank you very much, Scott.
All right,
Thanks,
cool.
guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
All right.
We'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up and just let everybody know that literally no matter what, no matter where you are, I truly believe that we all have the ability to learn our way out of it, and we're literally one decision away from starting that goal, doing that thing we want to do, taking on that task. It just got to make a decision to do it. You just got to make a decision to stay driven. Thank you, guys. Share this out. Connect with me.
No. Hi.
I don't know if it's off.
Oh.
I got to get him to bed. It's way too late.